As we reflect on the losses of the past year in Afghanistan and in Iraq, we think, of course, of those widows and children and parents and extended families and indeed friends who are affected by each death. In a moment, as we do every year, we will stand to greet the war widows, who are joined this year by the mother and sister of Private Joe Whittaker, a young reservist serving with the Parachute Regiment who died in Helmand Province earlier this year.
Joe had a very cheerful personality and a great sense of humour, and he had the ability to disarm anybody with his smile. And it was an infectious smile. He'd make everybody smile.
Joe was 17 months older than me, and we'd started to become quite close. We started to have proper conversations and confide in each other more. He absolutely loved being in the Parachute Regiment. It really did mean everything to him.
Joe was just 20 when he went to Afghanistan. He volunteered for a 4-month tour. He went out in May this year and was expecting to come back in September. Before Joe went to Afghanistan, he took me to New York for a surprise. I think Joe realised how difficult it was going to be for me when he was away, and he organised the trip to give me some very special memories.
We did talk a few times about what he was going to be doing, and I was really impressed by how focused he was, and he knew exactly what he was going into.
On the evening of the 24th of June, I had a visit from 2 men and a police lady, and I guessed that something terrible had happened. And I said, "Please tell me it's not Joe." And he said, "I'm sorry."
Mum and I do talk about Joe a lot. I think the way to get through this is by supporting each other. And I think we're very lucky that we've got each other to pull ourselves through. I will always miss Joe, especially when something reminds me of him, like a song. But I know that he's probably still listening with me.
Joe was the most wonderful son that any mum could ever wish to have. And he was kind and thoughtful, considerate, and I loved him.
Oh
The audience in the Royal Albert Hall stands to greet the war widows and relatives, led by Naomi and Kate Whittaker, mother and sister of Private Joe Whittaker. Among them too is Stephanie Neely, whose husband, Private Ossie Neely, was killed in a bomb blast in Northern Ireland back in 1983. He was aged just 20.